Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to the first edition of Secrets of the Scene, Raiders of the Lost Ark. If you haven't seen this movie, which is totally ludicrous, because I mean, come on, it's Indiana Jones, then I suggest you don't watch this. Watch it first, without me rambling on and commenting away. Or you could just not care either way and watch it anyway. Now, first of all, this isn't an academic analysis or some crap like that. I'm not really a big source to rely on. This is merely my own observations and explanations of the movie. Though yes, some of these things, such as background information, will actually be true. Anyway, on with the show. Indiana Jones was inspired by something called Pulp Fiction. No, not that Pulp Fiction. The other Pulp Fiction. Yeah, there we go. Some of you may have heard of them, some of you may not. I, for one, love Pulp Fiction. We're talking about things like The Shadow, Doc Savage, The Phantom, Conan the Cimmerian, Buck Rogers, and Flash Gordon. Some of which have already had their shot at the big screen in the 90s, but didn't do too well. You might be wondering what Pulp Fiction is exactly. In the 20s up until the 60s, Pulp Fiction was the equivalent to dime novels and those thrill-a-minute adventures. They weren't necessarily elegant series like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. Basically, each adventure and episode stood on its own and the hero went about saving the day and getting the girl. Most of these classic stories inspired many of today's pop culture, such as Batman and Star Wars. The reason they were called Pulp Fiction was because the magazines were known to be printed on cheap wood pulp paper. But actually, Indiana Jones derives from something longer than just Pulp Fiction. Many people think Indiana Jones started the whole adventure genre, when really H. Rider Haggard started it all with his famous King Solomon's Mines, about an old adventurer named Allan Quatermain. I won't digress too much about King Solomon's Mines, only other that it's a really great adventure novel and you should go out and buy it. Then you'll see some of the basic elements for an Indiana Jones type adventure. So without delaying any further, here we go and start up the movie. And the first thing we see here is the famous Paramount Pictures logo. If none of you have realized yet, every indie movie has a Paramount Pictures logo in the actual background of the movie or as some object, which is a pretty cool way to open up. That guy who just walked up the hill, that's Alfred Molina, aka Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2. So this was apparently Alfred Molina's first appearance in the film, which is actually pretty cool. And you see his name pop up somewhere here in the credits. Okay, so far, the movie started out very mysterious. You notice how you don't fully see the faces of the characters. All of them are obscured and shadowy figures moving through the darkness of the jungle. This kind of reminds me of Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. Just a bit. Everything seems sinister. Okay, so now we jumped a bit here, and we're about to witness what I think is the greatest character intro in all film. Okay, you see this loser trying to, shoot Indy in the back? Yeah, okay. No, watch. Notice how the light plays on his face as he comes out of the darkness, and the audience finally sees this guy's face. And that shot there, where the camera's looking at the whip, that in itself signifies that you don't want to fuck with him. Ever. And now Alfred Molina is just standing there like, yeah, I don't want to cross this guy. Yeah, okay. I had to do that. Just had to. Anyway, on with the movie.
Stop. Stay out of the light.
Okay, a friend of mine and I have always had this argument about how the hell do the spikes come out if you step into the light? I mean, this is an old ruin. Like, they didn't have sensors or magnetic crap or whatever. How is that even possible? And of course, he just argued back, well, I mean, come on, it's Indiana Jones. I mean, he survived the nuclear blast in one episode just with a freaking fridge, okay? But I'm like, but it just doesn't, just no. No, I mean, it's cool, but just no. And that's just another aspect of Pulp Fiction. It's just there's just these things that are just like so they focus more on the fact that it's cool or it scares you rather than to make actual sense. Da 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 da. Of course, Indy does it perfectly, and just notice how much of a noob this guy is. And Indy is just like, oh, don't touch me, just go away, don't touch anything. And actually, that brings up another point that I'll point out later, not right now.